Hello everyone, Wise Guy Jesse here. Um, Sorry for not having a lot of videos put up lately. It's because being in college that we have a whole it's getting towards the end of the semester. Like I have next week's my finals and stuff, so we're doing a little study and then had group projects I had to do and stuff like that. So been really busy. Haven't had time to do recording. Time I would normally record was hanging out with a group to learn the things that we're going to do for our projects. So to help make up for it, I'm going to start a new series. And I basically be like, what do you mean new series? We're on Warband. We've had this going for a while. Well, the new series I'm gonna call Story Time. I know how everybody's gonna be like, Story Time sounds like something you'd be reading to little kids and you see on Nickelodeon or something. Like, this is gonna be more of a teenager and possibly young adult kind of story time thing, because be funny events that I've had happen to me, stuff and stupid stuff that happen. It's meant to make everybody laugh. So if it sounds like a joke, it's supposed to sound like a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Because I don't know, it's one of those things that over when you're watching like a video or something like that, and you can't see the person's face if they're smiling or not, so you can't tell if they're trying to make a joke or not. So just assume everything's a joke. But this story is going to be called Start Where You Finish, because it's going to be a lesson that you're going to learn in this. What happens is, going along, it was a couple years ago, my friend, his family would have a camping trip the weekend before Halloween, and they'd go to a campsite and they'd rent out like 4 or 5 little spaces that are all side by side kind of thing, so you have a whole area to yourself kind of thing. And of course, being towards the one Halloween, it would be like in October. It's getting kind of cold. No one wanted to be out camping. It's like tents and stuff. So actually, a couple of them actually did bring campers. But and the tents that were there, they had heaters in it to keep people warm. So yeah, so we're going along. It's like me, my friend. He had 3 cousins that were guys, 2 that were girls, and he had a sister. And the sister ended up bringing like a friend or something like that. And his cousin, one of his cousins that were a girl, ended up bringing 2 friends. So there were a bunch of us there. There were kids like that. I was the oldest one. His cousin was the one. One of the girls was, I think, like 2 years younger than me, or like a year younger than me, maybe 2, something like that. He was like 2 to 3 years younger than me. And like all the rest, I forget their ages, but they were a lot younger. And one of his cousins that wasn't the oldest one, the youngest girl cousin, was, I don't know, like 5 years younger, or like 4 years younger than me, and she kept on creeping on me throughout this whole story. I just tell you now, she's creepy kind of thing, like always clinging to me, like you tell she wanted to be with me, but I have a rule where I'm not going to date anyone that's a year or so younger than me, and no one is going to be like 2 years or so older than me. But you know, it's probably going to break that rule at some point, but anyways, so this is how the story goes. So, you know, we're camping and stuff like that. We're all excited, having fun, joking around and stuff. And so, one of the times we're like, hey, we're gonna go up on this fire tower thing, which is just a giant tower above the woods. So it actually is taller than the trees, so you could stand up on it and look over the trees and see if you could see a fire. So you could watch for fire and stuff. So we're like, oh, let's go to that. I'm like, I don't really like heights, but sure, I'll act like I will, and I'll go to his tower. So I walk up to his tower. So it takes us like 30 to 40 minutes to get to his tower. And this tower is the sketchiest tower I've ever seen. It is basically a little like 8x8 plywood box, like 5 stories up in a tree, 5 or 6 stories. It's really high up there. Just a little plywood box, and the beams that were supporting it, it was really sketchy. There's no way in hell I am going up in that tower, because these beams were like thin little, like, I don't know, like it was less than 1/4 of an inch little beams, and the stairs were really thin, and I swear the towers wobble, and every time someone would take a step, it's like, there's no way I'm going up in that tower. So I was like, nope, I'm going up there. And everybody's like, come on, join us, like that. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to that tower. It's like that. You guys could have fun. So they went up there and take pictures and showing off to me and stuff. And so we're like, okay, well, that looks fun while it lasted, and no one died, so I guess it was a good trip. And so we're like, let's go back to camp. So since we started on Trail 5, and it took us 45 minutes to get there, 30 or 40. I said, well, let's turn back around, go back down Trail 5. No, 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 we're gonna go to the right this time and continue along Trail 5. I'm like, why? And like, well, if you go along Trail 5, you eventually get back to the end of Trail 5. Like, it makes sense. It follows the rule. You start where you finish on the trails and stuff. So let's go ahead and continue. Start going along, and it's like an hour down the path that we're going across like mud puddles. So like the one cousin that's like a year or so younger than me, I was like being nice to her, it's like that. And like mud puddles come up, so I like give her a piggyback ride across those mud puddles like that. And then the other cousin would creep on me, but can you carry me across? It's like, hell no. You walk across that mud. I'm not going over. Well, I was quite mean to her because she kept on creeping on me. So yeah, I guess if my friend is watching, I hope he doesn't get too upset, because if he does end up watching this video, he probably will end up laughing, because he's kind of boring during this. Yeah, Bryce, if you're watching, you're kind of boring during this whole thing. Like, he kept on wanting to sit there on his little iPod and watch Iron Man 2 over and over again. But he did go on the trail, so that was kind of fun to watch him bring him along. Wait, so yeah, we're going across these mud puddles. It's like that. Like, they weren't like massive, like super deep. It's just one of those things where you don't want to get muddy because you don't know how long you'll be walking along with soggy socks. So we're like, okay, so we kept on going along and making around these trails. Come to a fork in the road, and it's like Trail 9 or something. And so I start to continue down Trail 5, because you start where you finish. And what was cousin? No, trust me, I've been on the trail multiple times. We were going down Trail 9. Like, Trail 9, like, what the hell are you talking about? We start on Trail 5, we are ending on Trail 5, kind of thing. She no, trust me, we know what we're doing. Fine, if you say you've been here doing this longer than me, so I'll go ahead and go do what you do, kind of thing. Start to follow them. We're going like 2 hours on this trail. We're still joking around, having fun. Like, we could see like a road. We could see people on horseback on another trail, like cross the road downhill. It's like, so we're still within distance of seeing people and stuff. And the road was there, so we could know that. So we're like, okay, so continue along, and it's like 2 hours later, so, and we come across another fork, and it's like Trail 3, so when we go down that one, and we get to, go along, we're still joking around and have fun and stuff like that, mess around, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, there's another fork, and it's like that, and it's like Trail 3 or something. Like, I'm starting to wonder if you know where you're going. No, trust me, I know where we're going, so this one's gonna loop back around and stuff like that. I hope you're serious, because we've been walking the complete opposite direction of camp, and I've noticed the whole time. Because I'm one of those people, you could spin me around, blindfold me, drag me to the middle of the city, drop me off, and I'll find my way home still. And so, I also know my direction like that. And so she's like, no, trust me, it's like that. It's going to be okay. It's like that. Like, I know this one's gonna loop back around, but we've been going the complete opposite direction of where our camp is. Like, I think our camp was like north. We were going south the whole time. So I'm like, we're going, like, at this point, we're like 2 miles south of our campus, and we traveled for like another hour and a half or so. So we actually made it about 4 hours away from camp. And then we come across like a trail that's like, had no label to it. Oh, this is trail so and so, and it's just a signs missing. Come on, let's go on the trail. It'll take us right back to camp. Like, okay, but I kept on following her because I trusted her and figured she knew what she was doing. And so I'm walking along beside her, so like that, everybody slowed down because you've been walking for 4 hours, and so we're quite young, so I guess they like to walk that long. So, walking along beside her, she leans over to me and whispers, yeah, I have no idea where the hell we're going. And my jaw drops. I'm like, are you serious? Like, we've been walking for 4 hours just to have you tell me I had no idea where we're going? She's like, shh, don't say it out loud, the kids will panic. When the kids sit here, we're lost. They start crying. All the other kids start crying. And so we had a bunch of crying little kids with us. They're panicking, like, I mean, some of them were in like middle school, but they're still panicking because they're thinking they're gonna be eaten alive by wolves and bears and stuff like that. And like, we're gonna be eaten by wolves and bears. So like, don't worry, you're wrong there. It's not we, it's you. I'm outrunning you guys, and I'm going up that tree over there. See you later, kind of thing. It probably didn't help the situation at all. They start crying more, but yeah, it's supposed to be funny, but yeah, it turns out kids don't like jokes when they're feared and afraid to die and stuff like that. But So we're going along, we saw this little building out in the middle of the field. So because the trail just also opens up to a field. There's a building, so okay, we'll run up to that building. I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm sitting there thinking this is gonna be like those horror stories where people walk along in the woods and they lost and they're like, oh look, there's a house, let's go ask for help. And turns out there's some psychopath in there that captures everybody and drags them to the basement. But once again, I'm like, that's not we, that's you, because I'm outrunning you guys and I'm running up that tree over there. No one's gonna stop me, kind of thing. But anyway, we go to this building, it's like that. All the lights are off, there's no one in there. So I'm like, okay, well, that's weird, but there's a trail that goes back to, like a road that goes back to the normal road. I'm like, well, it's go be back in the park, so there's no psychopaths here. So we go along. Turn out that there's a sign up in front of it, so go to the other side of the sign, and it says like ranger, like service station or something like that, and it's like no trespassing, it's prohibited area and stuff like that. So oh crap, we're in a prohibited area. So okay, we should probably get out here. So I go, they go, let's go left. Like, are you serious? Like, we're going even farther away from our camp if we're going in that direction. Trust me, we're going to the right this time. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, you said you were sure the whole time and got us lost. I'm quite sure I know where we're going. This is the first time I've been in this park too, so I'm like, okay, we're going to this direction. So I walk along and park ranger comes by because we're in a prohibited area. He's like, are you guys lost? Of course, his cousin, no, we're not lost. You guys can go ahead and go along. It's like that. We know where we're going. And I'm like, he drove away then. I'm like, we could have asked for direction. And no, it's okay. It's like that. We know where we're going. I'm like, you've been saying that all night long. So in a couple of minutes later, park ranger comes back by. And you sure you know where you're going? Yes. I'm like, she's like, yes, we know where we're going. I'm like, no, she doesn't. We don't know where we're going. Where's the family park or your camp station? He points to the direction I was going. I told you guys. So we start going along like that. And like, just in case, we should probably call our parents. So to see if anyone's there. Like, my parents weren't there because my friend was able to take me as a friend along the trip, so it's only his parents. Didn't know anyone's there, so like, everybody's like checking their phone. So I have no signal, and then it caused the little kids to cry more. And I'm like, well, I have signal. What do you guys have, like AT&T? I'm like, I got Verizon. It shows for once and for all, Verizon's better. Something like that, just joking with him. It made him mad, and his cousin takes my phone, and they called her dad. We're lost. He's like, where the hell are you guys? You guys about missed dinner and stuff. You left right after lunch. And so we're like, okay. So ended up having him come along, and he ended up pick us up. And Karma Strikes gets for line for us the whole time. So that she had, I think I forgot to mention at the beginning of the story. What happened was I started recording a story. Got to the very end of the story, I realized I wasn't really recording, so it kind of sucked. But what happened was she had two dogs, a pug and one boxer that was like all white, it's like that named Zeus. So like they were pretty nice dogs. They went along the trail, they didn't care about them much. So the pug, right before he get a truck, like Karma strikes her because the pug ended up stepping in a giant pile of horse crap. Like, it's a pug, so it goes up to its knees. So it's like covered with stuff. She pulls it to sit up on her lap, and so this dog they trying to get, it's gripping on her lap, like its feet like scraping alongside of her, smearing horse shit all up and down her legs. It was so funny. So it was karma for her kind of thing, messing with her, showed her. That's what happens when you lie. So it was funny watching. We get back to camp, and the bird's like, what was going on? I'm like, it was her fault. Joking around. Everybody else knew the joke, but they weren't there, so they didn't know. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of mad looks from the parents and stuff from that. But yeah, so that's what happened. And so you're like, oh, okay, so that's a fun story. And now we all know if you start on Trail 5, you end on Trail 5. Start on Trail 3, you end on Trail 3. Unfortunately, the next year we forgot that rule and we went on Trail 1 and did not end on Trail 1. And here was that story. So we go 1 year before, since I was hanging out with a friend, he was sitting around on his iPods like that most of the time, like I said. So I was hanging out with his two cousins that were like 2 years younger than me, like that, but they were more active and running around and do hunting, fishing, all that stuff. So these guys are gonna be more fun to hang out with. So follow along with them. They end up, for some reason, a friend brought his bike and a couple others brought their bikes. No one ever really used their bikes except for his two cousins and me. We jump on our bikes and we start riding along into the woods. And like, we're really far out there. Like, these things, like these trees are like massive pine trees. These things are like 3 foot round, that's like that. Like, they're nothing compared to the redwood over in California, but for like over in Indiana, they're quite big trees. And so we're going along in these woods, and it's like that. We're going like across like all this stuff. We're on Trail 1, like 30-minute bike ride, because we were at this creek last time, and it was like there's a fallen tree, so you could go out to this little mini like island sandbar thing in the middle of the creek. Or I guess it's more like a river or something. I think it's supposed to be like a river, but it was a small part of the river. And so ended up going and seeing that, and so we're like, we could go over to a spot, and maybe there's another fallen tree to go across the river. So we ended up taking all the people with us. All the kids were like, let's go. So we started going and stuff like that. And going along trail one, we get to a spot, we all go down there. And of course, this one kid that one of his cousins was like one of those people who was like fat and not active, and he's the kid that gets made fun of all the time. So that he said, we go across a fallen tree. Like, this tree wasn't the oldest tree, but it was to the age where it was probably like maybe 8 inches around. You could get a good footing on this tree and actually go across the river. Well, his little fat ass, I can't make it, and he has like tears in his eyes and stuff like that. Sucks to be you. We left them. We made him stand over on that side. So, someone help me, and we need someone to hold my hand and walk me across. But great excuse to get you to hold your cousin's hand. I'm like, it's kind of creepy and stuff. We left out more. So, of course, as he goes to walk across the river, the only coyote crap on the log, he decides to scuffle his feet across and smears that stuff all across the log. So he pissed everybody off for that, because we didn't want that stuff on our shoes, but he decided to smear it across there. But anyway, so we're like, yeah, we wanted to get to the other side of the river, because we kept on hearing this noise, noise. And I'm like, okay, it could be multiple things. It sounded like as if someone was revving a four-wheeler really far off in the distance, like four-wheeler or dirt bike or something. Or it's like a cow that had like a strange moo noise. It's something like that, because this is what it sounded like. And so we're like, we want to figure out what this stuff is, but it's across the river, and we got like another like, I don't know, 30 feet to go, and the river did have a drop-off part, so we didn't feel like going neck deep in freezing cold water in the late October when we had to have a 30 to 40 minute bike ride back to the camp in soaking wet clothes. So there's a tree that's dead, whole inside like hollowed out, and like half the base that was missing. I'm like, you know what? I'm the smart person in the group, so I'm like, we could just kick the other half of that tree down and then make a giant canoe. And even if it does sink a little bit, I mean, at least we're not going to be neck deep in the water. And they're like, yeah, that's true, and let's go do it. So we started kicking this tree down. We spent like an hour trying to get this thing down. Like the outside part of the remaining half was like all dead. We broke that stuff easy, but when we got towards the middle part and we had like a foot left, somehow that stuff was like, it felt like you were trying to break a maple or something, like this really tough wood. So ended up starting to give up on that stuff. And so what was it, we started to head back, and like one of the cousins was flipping out. This one that was like all clingy to me, she was flipping out about this stuff. She didn't like that noise, because like she kept on, what's that noise? What's that noise? I'm like, I was wrong before. It wasn't going to be a dirt bike or a motorcycle, or it wasn't even a cow. It was Bigfoot. Didn't you hear? He lives in these woods, and it scared the shit out of her. And little did I know, like 2 years before I ended up starting to go camping with him, my friend, his dad dressed up as Bigfoot, or as a gorilla, but it looked like Bigfoot, and it scared the crap out of her because he ran into her tent or something like that. It scared the crap out of her, so she has a fear of Bigfoot now. And so she was flipping out this whole time. I didn't know, so every time I'd be like, oh, there goes Bigfoot. Every time you hear that noise, and it scared the crap out of her. She wanted to go back to camp, and everybody else started panicking because they actually thought there was Bigfoot out there. You guys are a bunch of dumbasses. Like, I highly doubt Bigfoot will be in the woods like this, if there is such a thing, a Bigfoot kind of thing. And so they're like, okay, let's go back to camp. So we're going along trail 5. So I think, no, we're on trail 1. Just saying, yeah, we're on trail 1. Well, we ended up coming across trail 4. Like, let's go on that trail. Like, did you not learn from the year before? You start on trail 5, you end on trail 5. You start on trail 1, you're in on trail 1. You don't go from trail 1 to trail 4. No, trust us, we know this way. It's like that. It's going to loop us back to camp faster. Well, it did take 20 minutes to loop us back to a road. But then we're like, okay, well, which direction we go now? I'm like, I'm going to the left. So everybody's like, yeah, let's go to the left. And then we ended up making it back to camp in about 30 minutes after that. So it took almost a little longer than it did to get to the place. But, oh well. And so that story was much shorter. But we did make it back to camp, and get back to camp. I'm like, was it Peyton's fault this time? Because my friend wasn't there, because they were looking for us, and none of them had signal, and my phone I had on vibrate the whole time because I don't like any ringtones I have. So mine's always on vibrate, and riding a bike through the woods, you don't feel a phone call off on vibrate. So he ended up calling a couple times like that. So he was looking for us, and I didn't know. So when we got back together, it's like it wasn't her fault this time. The family still didn't know the joke from last year, so they gave me a whole bunch of dirty looks again. I'm like, oh, I should probably stop doing this joke. But yeah, we all made it back. Unfortunately, his annoying cousin wasn't taken away by Bigfoot and dragged away and didn't have to see her anymore. So she sat there clinging to me still. So yeah, that's how the story goes. I hope everybody enjoyed. Remember the moral of the story. If you start on Trail 5, you better end on Trail 5 kind of thing. And now you tell your friends if you do end up going campus like that. That's the rules. Or else you might end up lost in the woods and having a bunch of crying kids with you, panicking, thinking that they're going to be taken away by a monster and stuff. And so yeah, if this video does, or if you guys liked, then go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, appreciate if you did. If this does get a lot of likes, and I hope it does, because I do enjoy the whole storytime series thing, because I got a whole bunch of funny stories, because my friends do stupid stuff all the time. Surprisingly, we don't get in trouble that much from it, because we know how to cover up our trails, I guess. But anyways, yes, this gets a lot of likes like that, and a lot of views, then I guess that I will continue. Also, I guess, I started remembering you can actually like tag people on Facebook and stuff like that. I suppose you could tag someone that you know who's had this happen to them, or someone who always doesn't follow this rule, tag them in it. Like, you listen here, you have to follow this rule now, because look at this kind of thing. You know, I thought it's a funny story, and when I do other stories like that, I'm sure some people are like, oh, I've had that happen to me before, and you could tag other people in it, all that stuff. It makes it funny, and it makes the video have more views and all that stuff, and makes it so, you know, having everybody laughing. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I don't think I will have a mountain blade up this week, which kind of sucks, because like once again, like I have another like one group project I've had finished. It was for speech, and that sucked so much because I don't speak much, believe it or not. I don't talk real loud in public like that. So that sucked, and so now I got like a psychology speech, and we were supposed to do a bunch of stuff. We're trying to figure out time to meet. So far, not having much luck with it. So it could be any times like that. So I can't really start recording because I'm like, I don't want to start recording like 10 minutes in and like get a text and be like, hey, we're meeting at the library. Like, well, shit, got to log off now, kind of thing. So, anyways, I guess I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully the series continues. And remember, you start where you finish when on trails.